Is the world really witnessing nothing more than an idol walking through Incheon International Airport? Or is it instead a symbolic event, too polished, too expensive, and too emotionally charged to be considered ordinary? That question immediately exploded in the public mind when photos of Jungkook appeared on timelines on February 2, 2026, not as documentation of a personal trip, but as a carefully framed scene that felt like the opening of a new chapter, whether in his career, his image, or even the larger BTS narrative that still hangs in the balance during their hiatus. At first glance, everything looked simple. Jungkook, a BTS member long known for possessing a magnetic aura even in silence, was seen wearing an all-black outfit. Yet that is precisely where the trap lies. The simplicity was deceptive, too curated, too precise, too expensive, and most unsettling of all, far too full of meaning to be dismissed so easily. Incheon Airport is not a stage. Yet history has repeatedly proven that for figures like Jungkook, a transit space can transform into an arena of indirect declaration. Amid the rumble of suitcases, camera flashes, and fans' gazes held back behind barricades, Jungkook walked with a relaxed posture, almost effortlessly. But it was exactly that calm that made the public uneasy. Because when someone already at the peak of global stardom appears without seeming to try, the question is no longer what is he wearing, but rather, what is he preparing? The fan account at Jungkook Style on X was among the first to break down every detail of his look. And this is where the story shifted from mere fashion spotting into a cultural phenomenon. The Los Angeles Dodgers camo cap from brand 47 that Jungkook wore may be worth only $30. But when such a casual item sits atop the head of a global superstar, it transforms into a symbol of paradox. Cheap yet irreplaceable, simple yet viral. Paired with a black mask and earrings that nearly blended into the dark atmosphere of his outfit, Jungkook created a sense of mystery that felt unmanufactured. He was not trying to hide, yet he was not offering full access either, a boundary deliberately maintained. This was the moment ARMY's emotions began to spiral. Some were captivated, others fell silent, and some felt an unexpected anxiety. Because Jungkook has never chosen an image carelessly. Every phase of his career has been marked by a significant visual shift. And this time that shift felt colder, more mature, and far bolder. The black semi-shiny grainy leather Balenciaga blue zone jacket Jungkook wore became the visual center of gravity for the entire look. Priced at $4,990, the jacket was not merely outerwear but a statement of status. Its sharp cut, masculine silhouette, and light-reflecting texture projected an unmistakable rock star aura. This was not the sweet Jungkook, not the innocent Jungkook, but a Jungkook fully aware of his power as a global icon. Yet the real shock came from a smaller detail that hit even harder. The $4,000 chrome hearts double roller belt, wrapped around his waist, was not just an accessory, but a symbol of fashion dominance. Chrome hearts is known not for chasing mass markets, but for exclusivity and rebellion. By choosing this piece, Jungkook seemed to send an implicit message. He is not following trends, he exists within the circle that creates them. Public reaction was inevitable. Comments flooded in, ranging from awe to disbelief. "Even the belt price gives me a headache," one fan wrote, half joking yet loaded with emotion. That simple sentence reflected a collective ARMY feeling, an awareness of the distance between their everyday lives and Jungkook's world, yet a choice to remain there nonetheless, watching, supporting, and feeling proud. The oversized dark gray wide-leg jeans, priced at $1,490, further reinforced the urban streetwear aesthetic Jungkook embodied that day. The loose cut, heavy drape, and fabric movement that followed his steps created an illusion of effortlessness that felt meticulously designed. Beneath all that luxury, Jungkook slipped on a $28 Supreme Hanes tagless tee. This small detail exploded across social media. How could someone wearing a jacket worth thousands of dollars choose such a down-to-earth inner shirt? The answer was simple yet unsettling. Because he could. It was this contrast that made Jungkook's appearance feel emotional for many. He did not fully detach himself from fans' reality, yet he did not pretend to stand on the same level either. He stood between two worlds and chose not to ask permission from anyone. The Mahara Yasuhiro Blakey, OG Soul Canvas low-top Verklo sneakers, priced at $330, completed the look with a quirky, almost ironic touch. Their unconventional chunky design broke the overly polished impression, as if Jungkook deliberately added an element of disturbance to keep the outfit from feeling sterile. Once again, this was no accident. It was a choice. But the story did not stop at clothing. The accessories Jungkook carried only deepened speculation. An iPhone 17 Pro priced at $1,499 with a black silicone MagSafe case. An Apple Watch Series 11 ranging from $429 to $529, and a $1,750 Balenciaga Army Space logo backpack formed a cohesive narrative: mobility, technology, and readiness. He was not on a casual vacation. He looked like someone moving towards something. As the estimated total value of Jungkook's outfit and accessories surpassed $15,000, the conversation shifted. This was no longer about whether it was expensive or not. It was about timing. Why now? Why at the airport? Why with such a cold yet controlled aura? In the midst of BTS's ongoing hiatus, every appearance by Jungkook is read as a clue. And this one felt far too deliberate to ignore. Is this a comeback signal? Or a silent declaration that Jungkook has entered a new phase that no longer requires verbal explanation? ARMY finds itself split between hope and unease. Because one thing is certain, Jungkook never appears without reason. And when he chooses to speak through fashion, the world knows that something is being prepared behind the scenes. Incheon Airport that day may have witnessed only a few brief minutes of interaction. But the impact lingered far longer. A step, a jacket, a belt, and suddenly the entire world is asking once again, who exactly is Jungkook right now, and where will he take us next? Within hours, the post from the account at Jungkook Style on X became the gravitational center of a global conversation. Thousands of likes, reposts, and quote tweets poured in, not merely because of the price information, but because a shared realization slowly began to take shape. Jungkook was speaking without words. And ARMY, long trained to read subtle gestures, fleeting expression changes, and even visual details as small as the fold of a jacket sleeve, immediately picked up on the signal. There was something different in the way Jungkook carried himself this time. Not just more mature, but more closed off. The black mask covering his face did not diminish his charisma. If anything, it intensified it. The faint glimmer of his earrings under the airport lighting created a contrast between hardness and softness, distance and intimacy. He was present, yet not fully accessible. And it was precisely there that ARMY's emotions began to stir. For years, Jungkook has been known as an openly emotional figure. His laughter came easily, his expressions were honest, and his closeness with fans often felt deeply personal. But his appearance at ICN Airport this time seemed to reveal a different phase. Jungkook appeared more controlled, calmer, and more conscious of the spotlight following him. For some fans, this change felt empowering and proud. For others, it felt slightly painful, because change always implies distance. The discourse quickly expanded. Some called this the most dangerous Jungkook era, while others described it as the version of Jungkook that finally belongs fully to himself. These phrases did not emerge without reason. The fashion he wore that day suggested a courage to stop pleasing everyone. He did not choose a safe outfit. He chose one that was firm, expensive, and full of attitude. The Balenciaga jacket that looked heavy and rigid, for instance, created the impression of armor. Not armor in a defensive sense, but as a symbol of self-protection. As if Jungkook were wrapping himself in a new identity, one more resistant to public expectations. This was not an idol trying to appear relatable. This was a global artist fully aware of his position and influence. ARMY responded in deeply emotional ways. Many wrote that they felt they were losing the old version of Jungkook, while simultaneously feeling proud to witness his growth. This paradox echoed across comment sections everywhere. There were tears, jokes, admiration, and an anxiety that was hard to put into words. Because Jungkook is not merely a public figure to them, he is part of an emotional journey that has spanned more than a decade. Interestingly, it was a small detail, the $28 Supreme Hanes inner tee, that sparked long discussions. For some, it was proof that Jungkook remains grounded. For others, it was a sharp irony about how simplicity can become a new status statement when worn by someone at his level. Whatever the interpretation, one thing was clear. No detail was considered trivial. The Mihara Yasuhiro shoes he wore also became the subject of extended conversation. Their unconventional design was seen as a rejection of mainstream aesthetics. In a K-pop world that often demands visual perfection, choosing such odd shoes felt like a small yet radical act, as if Jungkook were quietly stating that he was no longer interested in the industry's definition of perfection. Yet what shook ARMY the most was not the prices, the brands, or the designs, but the timing. BTS is currently in a long and speculation-filled group hiatus. Every individual movement by a member is inevitably read as a clue to the group's future direction. In this context, Jungkook's appearance with such a strong aura felt like a nonverbal declaration that he is not standing still. He is moving, he is evolving, and he may be preparing something he cannot yet reveal. The technology he carried only reinforced this impression. The iPhone 17 Pro, Apple Watch Series 11, and Balenciaga backpack were not seen merely as travel accessories. To many fans, they symbolized work readiness. Readiness for a packed schedule. Readiness for high mobility. Readiness for a new phase that may arrive sooner than expected. Questions began to surface, bolder and more emotional by the minute. Is this a sign of a solo comeback? Part of a secret project? Or is Jungkook simply enjoying personal freedom without the burden of group narratives? There were no definitive answers, and it was precisely this uncertainty that made the moment feel so powerful. The ICN airport, usually just a backdrop for paparazzi photos, transformed that day into a symbolic space. Every step Jungkook took felt like a sentence in a language understood only by those who have followed him for years, a language not spoken, but felt. ARMY around the world responded with the same underlying emotion, expressed in different ways. A sense that something is changing. And change, no matter how beautiful, always carries a hint of fear, because change means leaving something familiar behind. Yet beneath all of it, there was also trust. Trust that Jungkook knows what he is doing. Trust that he does not move without direction. And trust that when the time comes, all these small clues will come together to form a larger picture that finally makes sense. In the end, what makes Jungkook's appearance at Incheon International Airport feel so haunting is not the numbers, nor the list of brands attached to his body, but the sense that the moment occurred at an extraordinarily sensitive crossroads in time. BTS is currently on group hiatus. The collective future of the group remains the subject of constant speculation, and the global public, fans and industry alike, is on high alert, waiting for a sign. In such a situation, even a simple appearance can transform into a symbolic event, and Jungkook seems acutely aware of that. There was no press conference, no official statement, no lengthy post from the agency. What existed was simply Jungkook walking through the airport with an aura that was calm yet resolute, as if he felt no urgency to explain anything, while also having no intention of shutting down interpretation. This attitude only strengthened the narrative that he is in a phase where silence carries more power than clarification. For the entertainment industry, especially K-pop, the airport has always been a uniquely semi-public space. It is not a concert stage, yet it is not a private setting either. It is a gray zone where image is formed organically, and Jungkook utilized it with remarkable effectiveness. His appearance that day felt like a declaration that he is no longer merely arriving and departing, but present as a figure who has fully taken control of his own visual narrative. International media reactions followed gradually, not in the form of formal reports, but as cultural observation. Many noted how Jungkook is increasingly associated with high-end Western aesthetics, without losing his personal identity. He is not trying to imitate other fashion icons. He is constructing his own visual language, a language that is hard, dark, yet still leaves room for intimacy for those who have followed him for a long time. ARMY experienced this as an emotional moment because they have grown alongside Jungkook. From a high-energy teenager to a mature figure carrying immense symbolic weight, every phase of Jungkook has been recorded in the collective memory of the fandom. So when he appeared with such a composed and controlled aura, the feeling that emerged was not only admiration, but also reflection. There was an awareness that time has passed, and that this change cannot and should not be held back. Some fans describe the moment as the loudest silence. The phrase feels accurate, because even though Jungkook said nothing, his appearance sparked discussions across platforms, across countries, and across emotional registers. Some saw it as a symbol of personal freedom. Others read it as a strategic step toward a major project. Still others chose to take it as it was, without demanding definite answers. Interestingly, none of these interpretations fully contradict one another. Instead, they coexist, reflecting the complexity of who Jungkook is right now. He is no longer a figure who can be understood through a single narrative. He is a global artist with many layers, a musician, a fashion icon, a generational symbol, and an individual in constant evolution. In this context, the total value of the outfit exceeding $15,000 almost feels secondary. The number went viral not merely because of its luxury, but because it underscored one important truth. Jungkook is no longer in a phase of proving himself. He has already passed that stage. Now, every choice he makes is more about self-expression than public validation. ICN Airport on February 2, 2026, may be recorded as just one of many airport moments in K-pop history. But for ARMY, that day carried a different emotional weight. It felt like a pause before something begins, like a long breath drawn before the next major step. Is this truly a sign of a comeback? Or merely a personal journey coincidentally caught on camera? Those questions will continue to circle until time provides its own answers. But one thing is difficult to deny. Jungkook has managed to turn the most ordinary moment into a space for collective reflection. And perhaps that is where his true power lies. Not in his ability to appear striking, but in his ability to make the world stop for a moment, pay attention, and wonder. About him, about the future, and about how one quiet step through an airport can feel like the beginning of something far greater. For now, Jungkook keeps moving forward without offering a map. And ARMY, with all the emotions and hopes that accompany them, choose to follow. Not because they know where the path leads, but because they trust the person walking ahead of them.